Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to our YouTube channel. This is H.o.s coming to you with the H.o.s Man in Black Africa. William Samoei Ruto in Japan tweeted and told Kenyans that he has talked to Toyota, the manufacturers and sellers of second-hand motor vehicles in Japan, whose market is mainly in Africa and also Kenya. Kenya is a ready buyer and a very potential one. And he told the world that he has talked to that company and they are coming to establish a manufacturing company in Naivasha, in Kenya. A time like this, I understand. I don't know whether it is before the end of the year. But this one elicited a number of reactions. Wakenya wakauliza maswali mengi. Na this is because in the past, the president has been saying things that have not been happening. You remember kuna wakati ambapo alituambia kwamba the Hollywood were coming to shoot the movies in Kenya. And they were supposed to be shooting, I think, from last year, around the month of August. Kenyans have been waiting. Nothing has been happening. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you believe that Toyota Japan is going to establish its company here in Kenya? Because from where I sit, this is a pipe dream. And one problem with William Samoei Ruto is that he normally comes out very fast to talk even things before they happen. Anakuja anaongea haraka sana, hata kabla ya chakula kuiva ameshaanza kuambia watu ya kwamba watakula chakula bacho hata kikiwa shabani. This is the problem we have with the president. Anaongea haraka sana na anaongea hata kabla mikakati kuwekwa. And you remember also the way he told Kenyans about the way the dollar was going to come down in a very phenomenal way, to quote him. And he said something like 120 to 115, only to be embarrassed. So when he told the world that Toyota Japan was going to establish its company in Kenya, it is not true. It is not gonna happen. It won't happen. It will not happen. It will not happen anytime as long as William Samoei Ruto is the president of the Republic of Kenya. Kwa nini tunasema haya jameni, ili hali tunajua kwamba huyu ni mtu ambaye anasema ako na plan. He has always told Kenyans that he has a plan. Number one, in my view, is because of the high taxation in Kenya. Which company or which investor would come and invest in a country whereby taxation is very high? Kwa sababu ukiangalia utakuta kwamba unapochunguza utaona kwamba wale wafanyabiashara, wale wekezaji, the investors are crying because of the high tax rate. No other country in the world is being taxed like Kenyans are doing. And the cost of doing business in Kenya, the cost of operating business, the operation costs in Kenya are higher than in any other country in Africa. So when we have investors running away, because we have seen investors closing shops, how then does it happen that Toyota Japan is going to establish its company in Kenya? Because we have seen many companies closing shops and others relocating to Tanzania, and they are preferring Tanzania because the cost of establishing business in Tanzania is lower than in Kenya. The operation cost is lower in Tanzania than in Kenya. Remember that the cost of electricity in Kenya is extremely high. It's extravagant when you look at it. When you look at the way the government is taxing something like electricity, you realize that Kenyans are not getting value for their money. So the question that begs answers, who is this investor who is going to invest where he does not get the value for his money? Who is this investor who is going to establish his company where the government is eating with a big spoon and trying to actually reap where it did not sow. Which company is this one? Because what I know, any company, before it establishes a business, it must carry out a proper research and due diligence. And the motivating factor in any country is profit. When the cost of operating a business is very high, when the operation costs are very high, no investor will come. So wakati ambapo William Samoei Ruto anatuambia ya kwamba hii kampuni itakuja, tunaachwa tukijiuliza maswali mengi. Remember, he promised Kenyans mtakuwa mkipiga mkitumia simu bila bundles, mtakuwa unachukua tu simu unapiga, because he was going to provide free internet. To date, the promise has never happened. To date, nothing has happened. Mpaka wa leo wa Kenya bado wanagojea what he called the free internet. And this one is not going to happen also. Again, which country or who is going to come and invest in a country where the shilling is on a free fall? Inflation is very, very high. Very, very high. So, when the inflation is very, very high, the investors will be very, very cautious. And something else that Kenyans need to know, that Kenya is already a market. Kenya provides a ready market for Japan, Japanese second-hand vehicles. Sasa, unataka kuniambia mtu atakuja kuwekeza taifa ambalo ndilo ambalo linanunua yale magari? Kwa sababu yale magari ambayo wanaingia Kenya kutoka nchi ya Japani ni mengi sana. Yale magari ambayo yanatoka katika kule the Asian country, the Japan people. Japanese are very, very innovative. Japanese people are very, very hardworking. Japanese hates corruption. When you look at our country, people, the leaders are very, very corrupt because they always they ask for kickbacks. And one thing that can even make or is making investors find it Kenya an attractive market is because the government officers you always ask for kickbacks. Imagine mwekezaji anakuja anataka kuwekeza mali ni yake, na sasa kabla ya kuwekeza ndio apewe leseni, utapata ya kwamba anaabua atoe kafogo, atoe hogo, atoe mlugura. And these people hate corruption. They hate corruption very much. And again, when you look at the bureaucracy that is in Kenya, especially when you look at licensing, you are required to have so many licenses to establish a business. And not even the licenses. The procedure itself is hectic. So when William Samoei Ruto tries to woo the investors, I think the first thing he should do is to ensure that there is political stability in Kenya, because our country is shaky as we talk now. It is shaky. Our politics is shaky because when you look at our country is hopelessly divided. When you look at our country, you realize that we are not yet a nation. We are just a state that is in the process of building a nation. And you are failing because if you ask me, because the president is a symbol of national unity, he is not doing enough, because this government of Kenyakwanzapithecus, because from whatever angle you look at it, utaona kwamba ina dalili zote za Egyptopithecus, the earliest human being who was hoped to have a tail. Kwa hivyo hii serikali ni serikali ambayo inamkia. Hii ni serikali ni kama hiyo hao watu ambao wanasemekana kwamba walikuwa wakitembea on four limbs, miguu na mikono walikuwa wakitembea, and they were herbivorous, by the way. This is the kind of government that we have. So when you tell an investor, a serious country like Japan, to come and invest in a poor third world country whereby corruption is the order of the day, then many people ask so many questions. So let me end this video by asking you, do you think Japan will come and establish Toyota Japan a company here in Kenya so that they can be selling vehicles in Kenya and Africa in general? Do you think William Samoei Ruto is going to get it this time around? Because in the past, nothing has been happening. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, please like this video as you have always done. comment and leave a respectable comment. Until next time, bye-bye.